What is up, everyone? Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. We are going to be folding at home IMNC style. And you know this is going to be fun because I've even had a shave for the occasion. Next will be the haircut. But yeah, getting myself back on track, looking half decent today on camera for you guys to do a fun project. So, here we go. First of all, what is folding at home? For those of you who don't know, probably most of you watching this video do know, but for those of you who don't, folding at home is a project. It's a distributed computing project. And distributed computing is basically loads and loads of little computers all over the world acting as one giant supercomputer. So they're all contributing their tiny itsy little bits of power, and it allows the overall project, the distributed computing network, to calculate things, to calculate problems and simulations. In this case, protein movement, protein dynamics, protein movement, and the folding of protein in order to solve these big scientific equations and problems, aka using your computer at home to try and combat these diseases and to try and allow scientists to get a better idea of what these diseases are doing so that they can come up with cures and vaccines and, you know, all of this stuff. So it's a great little project. Absolutely, well, I say little, it's absolutely huge, and it's been going for a very long time. Absolutely fantastic, because stuck at home in lockdown, there's not a lot that you can do where you really feel like you're making a difference. So the biggest thing that you can do is to stay at home and not interact with other people outside. That is the greatest, best thing you can do, because you're not spreading the virus. But if you can do a little bit more, it's awesome. So if you're a nerd, you know, with spare computers hanging around, I can plug it in and even just contribute a tiny little bit of computing power to the project. That'll feel really great. So you can fold for whatever disease you want. We'll look at the drop-down menus and stuff later on. But something that's kind of, you know, very prominent at the moment is you can fold at home for COVID-19, and that's what we're going to be doing today. So first of all, I got this idea about 2 weeks ago when Linus Tech Tips uploaded their video about building a machine for folding at home. They've got a very big folding community. They have done way before COVID-19, but it's grown massively since, because, you know, they've made that video and they've got a load of people now folding using spare hardware and stuff that they've got at home, which is awesome. So you can fold for the Linus Tech Tips team, which is what I'm going to be doing in this video, because that's where I originally got the idea. So that's really cool. And secondly, I was talking to a viewer of mine, Michael, and he sent me a message on Facebook. He was like, dude, I've got a video idea for you. Why not do some folding at home? And I sent him a message. I was like, man, that is exactly what I was planning on doing. Now, originally I was going to use my Doom PC, but I was holding back from making the video because I was like, yeah, I got to be careful because there's not a lot of spare cash floating around at the moment, and the last thing that I want to be doing is dumping a load of cash into my electricity meter. So I was a bit concerned about using the Doom PC because it would just chug away and suck a lot of power. You know, it's got 2 GPUs in it, it's Core i7 2600K, you know, it's not a massively power hungry machine, but it will eat a few hundred watts when it's working hard. So that would be like a very high powered device to have going 24/7. So Michael gave me the idea of using a Mac Mini. I've got spare Mac Minis, I could just use a Mac Mini. Now, of course, it won't contribute as much power as the Doom PC, but if I can just help in a little way, contribute some numbers, do some number crunching from my end, it'll be good fun, and it'll be good fun to do this little project anyway. So Michael, huge thanks for the suggestion. My brain would not have even thought of Mac Minis. So link to Michael's website, I think he gave me a link to, down in the video description. So thank you to him, and of course, thank you to Linus and the gang for giving me the idea. Not that anyone from their gang is watching this video, but yeah, it got the brain whirring, and I didn't even know before watching that video that you could fold and contribute to COVID-19. So if this goes well, when all the COVID stuff is hopefully over, I could maybe dedicate the Mac Mini to folding for a different disease or whatever, because they're all equally important and they need calculations performed. So let's rock, let's do it, let's dig out a Mac Mini and have a fiddle. So as per Michael's suggestion, we are going to dig out a Mac Mini. One of these is the Mac Mini that we want. Let's take a quick look. Which one? Top one. That's the Intel Mac Mini. We will take a look at the minimum system requirements for folding at home in a second. They do have a Mac version, which is awesome. Now, for those of you who don't recognise this machine, I've had it in my possession for a long time, and this used to be my server, Neptune. This was my main Mac Mini server, did all my server duties. It's since been replaced by Venus, which is the 2009 Mac Mini. This is a 2007 Mac Mini, Core 2 Duo, running Lion, and it's still set up in the exact same configuration as it was before. So my kind of theory on this is, if I plug it directly into my rack, I should not need to bother fiddling with keyboard and mouse and stuff. I should be able to dial directly into it and set it up straight away, because it should all be configured ready to rock for remote access. So I'm quite happy about that. All I'm concerned about is a power supply, and I do believe, I don't want to think that this is going to be a really easy process finding all of this stuff, but I do believe that that right there is a Mac Mini power supply, and that is pure luck that I saw that out the corner of my eye, because, put some blinkers on guys, no, look at the mess, oh my god, okay. Yeah, we're going to try and sort out IMNC HQ Mark III in a future video, like videos that are coming really soon. Anyway, let's grab the Mac Mini off the shelf and we are going to slot it into the server rack somewhere. So here we have the Mac Mini, and we're going to take a quick look in the rack to see where we can slot this. That will be most convenient. So, it's been a while since we've looked in here, folks. Apologies for any dust that you may see. This RAID is currently down. I've got a dead drive. They did incredibly well. They were second-hand when I got them. So, yeah, quite chuffed at that. But, right then, let's have a little look. So, we may have to sit it under there on top of the UPS. Question is, does it fit? Let's have a look. Ooh, it does. But the clearance is nothing. And it's pretty toasty in here, guys. Pretty toasty indeed. So what I think I may do is, I've got so many storage devices hooked up to this Mac Mini, all these hard drives. I'm not currently using all of them, but since I've got the Synology NAS, I'm doing everything here. So this is all kind of just like backup and old files that I've still got to tidy up. In the next version of the rack, we'll ditch probably all of these externals, which will make it a lot cleaner in here. So I'm going to take a look at this one in particular, because if we can get the other Mac Mini sitting here alongside this one, it'll look pretty clean. Now, I've cable managed the power supply for the 2009 Mac Mini, so it won't be as kind of a clean job, but we'll throw it all in anyway, and this is only like a temporary solution. I'm not going to do that, because that was my first thought. It would be really easy to wire up as well, but no, we are not going to go down that road, because I just don't want to burn anything out, really. The other option is I've got a shelf here, and I could just bolt that back in, and I could put the Mac Mini right at the top here, and I could just gun the heck out of it so it could get as hot as it wanted. That is another option, I suppose. I could put its PSU up there as well. But the only drawback to that is I don't have a clue where any of my mounting hardware is, because my room is an absolute tip. So, little bit tricky to work out this one, guys, but we will see what we can do to figure it out. Today's my lucky day. Basically, last time I needed to mount something, I couldn't find any of this, so I stole it from that rack shelf, because there was nothing on the rack shelf. Boom. Oh yeah. Beauty of this with the shelf out is I can reach the PDUs at the back, so I can easily plug in the Mac Mini power supply. One quick note, it is roasting in this rack, absolutely roasting. We will be utilising some of the cooling options in this cabinet the next time we have a look at the rack cabinet and sort everything out. It all needs one heck of a good sort anyway. So, what's that? Oh, that's IEC. That's an IEC distro. That's quite cool. Okay, no worries. I'm kind of remembering all the stuff that I did here. Okay, so there's a standard 13 amp one under there. We'll plug in the supply because there's an available socket. Here it is. So guys, all jokes aside, it is absolutely boiling in here, and it's making me a bit nervous. I wouldn't normally be nervous because it's all quite cheap hardware, but I've got my Synology NAS in there now, Scaro, sitting in there roasting away, full of really expensive drives. So I'm glad I've had this opportunity actually, because I think I will fast track the cabinet cooling plan. It is a warm day today and it is warm in this room, but having no cooling whatsoever in the cabinet isn't making me very happy. So, and of course now I'm just going to throw in another heat generating machine, which is going to chug away at, you know, utilising hopefully quite a lot of power, or providing, judging by the spec of the machine, you know, providing as much power as I feasibly can, computing power that is. What we're going to do is put the power supply up on the shelf as well, out in the open, so that it doesn't get all tangled up and weighing down on anything in the back of the cab here. Let's just pop that up there. Ooh, apologies folks, walloped you with the power cable there. Okay, and connecting the Mini, we're going to use two connectors. We're going to connect RJ45 that was conveniently sitting there for our gigabit connection to the switch, and in theory, as soon as I plug this in, as per the configuration of my Mac Mini, it should power straight up. Yes, it does. Welcome back online, Neptune. Wow, blast from the past. Okay, let's hide the power supply cable back there. It's not going to be neat. We're not tying anything down. We're just going to put it there so that it looks okay for now. Hide some of that down there. Okay, nice. So there's the Mini and the shelf. I'll get you a better view. Okay guys, so I've got the Mac Mini sitting there. I'll just give you a little bit of a better look because you couldn't see much from where I had the camera. Power supply is sitting there, so it's a similar thing to what we did down here. Obviously this power supply is tied down, as is all the cabling in the back of the Mini here. The 2009 Mini, which is currently doing general file servery duties. Anything that Scaro isn't doing, this Mac Mini is, which isn't a great deal anymore, to be perfectly honest. It's still managing certain aspects, but yeah, everything like time machine duties and all that sort of thing has been moved over to Scaro. But we'll talk more about that in a different video. This is all about this guy and folding it home. So this is powered up now. It should be booted. What we'll do is we'll nip onto my main machine and see if we can log into the Mac Mini. Yes.
What are you talking to?
I'm just talking to the camera, dude. We're talking about this, Mac Mini. Is it cool?
Yeah.
Sorry, folks. We're going to go onto my main machine, we're going to log in, and we're going to see if we can see this guy. Hopefully, everything is the same as I configured it back in the day. So here's the list of machines that I've connected to via screen sharing from this Mac before, and as you can see, Neptune is in the list. Now, it's booted up and powered up. So, hey, hello Neptune, my old friend. So this is all booted up fine. As you can see, we've got 1.83 gigahertz Intel Core 2 Duo, 2 gigs of RAM. That is indeed the Mini. And we've got two Mac Minis on the go here. So we've got both Neptune and we've got Venus. So the two machines and obviously Scaro. So
Daddy,
everything is looking good. I know, I'm taking ages. It's gonna be a little bit longer, okay, dude?
Okay.
Is that okay?
Yeah.
Right, folks. Let's do it. First, let's talk about minimum system requirements. So here are the specific Mac system requirements. Mac OS X 10.6 or later, so that's Snow Leopard. 64-bit CPU, Core 2 Duo or better. So I couldn't use the Mac Mini G4, or I couldn't use any of my PowerPC Macs, couldn't even use a Core Duo or Core Solo Mac Mini, so it's quite good really that I've got the Core 2 Duo Mac Mini, otherwise this wouldn't be possible. Broadband internet connection or faster. GPU folding is not currently supported in OS X, so that is absolutely fine. We are going to jump into a web browser, we're going to download Folding at Home, and we are going to set it to run on this machine and see what happens. I actually had to download the zip file from my main machine because Chrome was just being an absolute pain on here. But it's just a zip file, and then it's just a standard package installer, so we're just going to continue, agree. We're just going to see how easy this is to get all set up, because in theory, it's really, really super simple. So guys, it doesn't want to display this web page for me, which is the client.follingathome.org. It can't connect, but it's okay because in the apps folder I found this, Folding at Home Control, Folding at Home, Client Advanced Control Panel, which seems to be giving me everything I need. So I'm currently setting it up. This number is the Linus Tech Tips folding team, so I'll be folding for them. That's my username, Tom IMNC, and then I'm just setting up a pass key now. I've just sent a request, and I should have that in my email inbox really soon. So by using Opera, I managed to connect to this webpage, which is good because it gives a little bit of a clearer representation of what's going on here. So one of the things that I noticed over here on the configure side was for advanced, under cause preference, it's quite vague, whereas here, haven't tried this yet, but in this drop down, I should be able to select COVID-19. Just reading up on this web page here, by selecting, apparently, I've got it here, by downloading Folding at Home and selecting to contribute to any disease, we can contribute to folding for COVID-19, which is cool. I did think that I'd seen it on someone's video where they've specifically selected COVID-19, so let me just go back and have a quick look. I checked back on the video. No, I'd imagined that I can leave it to any disease and we're good to go. So that is brilliant, guys. What I am going to do now though is, you can see here, because it's just a basic Mac Mini, we haven't got really a lot to play with. We've only got one CPU. Let's make this bigger. Can we make that? Yeah, make that bigger. Okay, that's not made much difference. Okay. Anyway, we've only got one CPU, so there's not a lot of control with this. You know, it's not like I've got individual things that I can play with. But what we will do is we'll crank it up. Because, why the heck not? Crank it up on full. We're not going to use this machine for anything else. So we've got this job running at the moment, status running, progress, which is at 1.09%, and ETA is 23 hours 44 minutes. Base credit 501. So awesome, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. We have connected and we are running, which is great, and really good fun. So this Mac Mini is crunching away. It's contributing, it's helping. And I mean, you know, let's be realistic here for a second. We've got several thousands of people running this on massive rigs, loads of GPUs, big bulky CPUs, with loads of cores. This is just a little Mac Mini. It's nothing, but it's what I've got, and it allows me to do this and help out without sucking loads of power. Now, one thing I could have done is connect a power meter in line with the Mac Mini to see how much power this is actually sucking up. So the maximum continuous power draw of the Mac Mini is only 110 watt, and that is for the mid 2007, which is what this one is, the 1.83 and the 2 gigahertz. So in theory, 1.83 you'll use a little bit less, or have the capability to harness slightly less power than the 2 gigahertz machine. And that's an absolute maximum there provided by the power supply. So this won't be sucking a great deal. I'm not going to shut it down and put a meter in line, just because that'd involve me shutting all this down, and you know, I've got it up and running now, so I'm going to leave it up and running and we'll just keep an eye on it and see how it goes. But as you can see, we're up 1.01% there. You know, it's doing stuff. It's actually doing stuff, which is awesome. I love it. It's cool. You know, it's making the difference. Let's go back to the web thing for a sec, because you can see web control sleeping. Oh, okay, that sort of goes to sleep. I see, that's interesting. Yeah, so it now sees that we're on full power, and you guys can see up here, once it loads, we are indeed folding for Linus Tech Tips team, and once I get some points, they'll display here, and that's the points that have accumulated so far. Awesome effort, everybody. That is just amazing. Mine will be a drop in the ocean. So just as a little closing set of thoughts, I've let this run for a little while now, just while editing the video that you guys have just seen. And I've come back and all of these lovely scientific looking blobs have appeared on the map, which is awesome. I've also set up a quick install of hardware monitor just to keep an eye on the temperatures of the machine, which are kind of okay-ish, to be perfectly honest. I was expecting a lot worse, considering how hot it is in here. It is a bit toasty, but as you can see, the CPU is nearly slammed at 100% all of the time. So, not bad. And we are nearly at 5% of our job. So it's crunching numbers, guys. It's doing its thing, which makes me really happy. So coming out at the end of this, my only complaint is there is no version for PowerPC Max, because how cool would it be to put the two Quad G5s to use and crunch some numbers on those guys? That would be fantastic. Obviously, that would use one hell of a lot of electricity and would not be feasible, but it would be damn tempting if they had a PowerPC version. But anyway, folks, that is the completed little thing that we've done here. If you guys want to try it out, you know, just go for it. It's fun. There's not a lot to really do once it's up and running, obviously, but just knowing that it's sitting there doing its thing, you know, you can log in every now and again, check out your progress, check out your points. Yeah, it's just a real feel-good thing, and also it's quite nerdy, so that's good fun as well. So thank you so much for watching. Thank you to Linus for making the video in the first place, to inspire everybody to do this, and thank you to Michael for actually helping me out with my thought process and making me realise that, yeah, a Mac Mini is a perfectly viable machine to use for this. So yeah, and thank you to you guys for watching. My word, I really need this second iMac G3 coffee. I'll see you guys all in the next video.